Welcome back to the Dad and Cole Football Patrol.
That's right. Welcome back, guys. I am Dad.
And I am Cole.
So, Cole, one of the things that I love most about NFL football is I think every year, truly, every team in every city and the fans within those cities can have hope that their team has a shot to getting into the playoffs and maybe even winning a Super Bowl. I think it's the one sport out of all the professional sports that you can go from worst place one year to first place the very next season.
Example, the Eagles were in last place last year, but then they
2 years back, yep.
Yeah, and then they came back and they won a Super Bowl, and that's kind of like the Saints.
You were calling out the exact team I'm thinking of, our beloved Philadelphia Eagles, who we make no apologies for being big fans of. 2 years ago, under Doug Peterson's first year, they were in last place in the NFC East. Last year, they bounced all the way back. They win the division, and then we all know how the story ends with Nick Foles winning the Super Bowl for them. So with that being the backdrop, Cole,
that's kind of like the Saints winning the Super Bowl too.
What do you mean?
The Saints.
Oh, were they worse the first two when they won their Super Bowl a few years back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of forget that, but that rings a bell to me. I know they had struggled for a little bit, and then Peyton came in, and then they got Breeze, and then but I don't recall that.
Peyton came in?
Sean Payton, their head coach.
Oh, I thought you meant Peyton Manning.
No, Sean Payton, and they got Breeze, and then they went on that run themselves, and that was right around the time of the Hurricane Katrina, I remember as well. So that Super Bowl for the Saints really meant a lot to that city. So with this being the backdrop, Cole, of our discussion, I want to give you a listing of all the teams that were last place last season in the NFL, and I want to hear your predictions, who you think can go from worst all the way to first. All right, so Cole, let's get into this. This is going to be fun. So I hold in my hand here the listing of the standings as they finished last year. So we'll go AFC first. Does that sound good? All right, so the teams last season that were in last place in each of their respective divisions in the AFC are as follows. The Jets were 5-11. The Broncos were 5-11. The Browns were 0-16. The Texans were 4-12.
Well, that's a little better.
Yeah, so I'll hand that over to you, buddy. So, Cole, let's do this. Give me two teams out of those four that you think have the best shot of going worse to first this season.
The Browns and the Texans, because the Browns, they are starting to make good on their defense, and they got a rookie quarterback, and they also got Tyrod Taylor.
Listen, I like this selection from you. I know a lot of people, when they think of the Browns, they're going to say, well, they didn't win a game last year, and they also have to play the Steelers.
I understand.
I have a gut feeling about the Steelers. They seem to be having some odd issues. Le'Veon Bell, again, is he going to be there? Is he not going to be? I don't know that the team emotionally can keep dealing with those kind of off seasons. I love
they have the best wide receiver in the world.
Brown, they definitely do. No doubt about it. But I love what the Browns have done this offseason,
but they
like
also
you.
got Desert Ward.
Yeah, and I think Hugh Jackson's a good coach, so I like that pick. So you gave some good reasons for the Browns. Now, how about the Texans? What are you liking about them from going worst to potentially first?
Because they just got Deshaun Watson back.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably all you have to say. Everyone who saw Watson at the beginning of last year was just mesmerized by this young talent.
5 interceptions.
What do you mean 5 interceptions?
That's all that he threw.
Oh, that's all. Do you know how many touchdowns off the top of your head? I know he was on a torrid pace for throwing touchdowns. But yeah, he is just a dynamic playmaker. And I think that division is a tough division. But do we know what we're getting out of Luck and the Colts? Can he even be on the field? The Jaguars, dominant defense. But still, Bortles, there's questions there, even though I thought he showed well in the playoffs.
What's going to happen to Fournette?
Yeah, I mean, I like Leonard Fournette. I think he's probably one of the best up-and-coming players, but they lost their receivers, right?
Yeah.
Two receivers. So
and they lost Allen Hurns and Allen Robinson.
Right, both Hurns and Robinson are gone. So, and then with the Titans, they're an up-and-coming team as well. I like Mariota. I like Derrick Henry and what's going on there, but I just think the Texans could be explosive.
But most of the defense have gotten better, so Derrick Henry can like get stopped easier now.
I think that's a good point. And I think Clowney has become the player that those guys wanted when they took him high. And if J.J. Watt can just stay healthy, I feel like we say that aloud about Watt. But if he can, they're another type of team. So I like your two selections for the AFC. All right, Cole, so that was the AFC. Now let's head over to the NFC, home of our beloved Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to read for you the teams in the NFC that were last place in their respective divisions last season. The Giants, 3-13. The 49ers, 6-10. The Bears, 5-11. And then the Buccaneers, rounding out this list of NFC teams, last place in their divisions, were 5-11. So, Cole, I'll hand over the card to you. Out of those four teams, pick two for me that you think have the best chance of going from worst all the way up to first in their division.
The Giants and the 49ers.
I agree. Listen, it pains me.
The Giants
Go ahead.
got Saquon Barkley, and
Yep.
they have Odell Beckham Jr.
Yep. And they also signed Nate Solder, right? So they
Yeah.
made some improvements to their offensive line.
And they have Eli Manning.
And aren't you a big Ogletree guy,
Yeah.
right? They traded, I think, Ogletree from the Rams. So I think the Giants had one of the best off seasons.
They have a really good team now.
Yeah, they did. And here's the thing. Manning's older, I get it, but when he has guys around
He
him
could
and a
show,
running
like,
game.
if he has a really good team, he can show them how to win another Super Bowl.
Yeah, it pains me to say that, but I have to be objective on our podcast here, even though I'm a huge Eagles fan.
They
I
could
do.
win another Super Bowl with
look,
this good team.
I worry about the Giants. I think they could go worst to first as much as it pains me. Now, let's talk about the 49ers.
Worst to first in the whole league.
Don't go going too crazy here, boy. Now, the 49ers, was there any hotter team?
Like Jimmy Garoppolo.
Right, and was there any hotter team?
They got Jerick McKinnon.
Jarrett McKinnon, they got Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
And look, even forgetting the pieces that they picked up, which you just called out, McKinnon and Sherman, two good veteran pieces, Garoppolo at the end of last year was on fire.
He won every single game that he played.
Yeah, I think he did, right? Was it 3 or 4 in a row, I think? Or was it maybe even 5? Did he get 5? So they closed out the season with 5 in a row. And in that division, the Seahawks, they seem to be in rebuilding mode, but you still always have to contend with Russell Wilson. The Rams, they came out of nowhere last year, and I think there's pressure on them this season.
Like with Jared Goff.
Yeah, I think there's going to be more pressure on them and
Aaron
expectations.
Donald.
Now, I think they're a stacked team.
They lost Ogletree, as we just talked about.
We just talked about, right. They're a stacked team still, but I think there's pressure on them to repeat. And then for the Cardinals, I think they're probably going to be a mess this year. Yeah. So I like both
coming in last place.
Yeah, I like both your picks. I think I agree with them as well.
Can you leave a comment to say who do you think's going to be worst to first?
Yeah, guys, we'd love to hear from you. Do you agree with us?
And also subscribe.
Yeah, so 2 things you're saying, right, Cole? Leave a comment. Let us know.
For NFC and AFC.
Yeah, both conferences. Which teams do you think are going to go worst to first? Leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. And then what was the second thing? Subscribe? Yeah, we'd love for you to hit the subscribe button so we can count on you as an active member of our...
And also watch all our videos.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of backlog, and there's some goofy bloopers and outtake videos, so check them out. Have a laugh at our expense. But we'd really love to count on you as active members of our NFL football family. What else, man?
Nothing.
That's it, right?
See ya.
See you guys.